Hey folks, Jack here. Welcome to the show. And today we're out here in the wilderness, and about 8 years ago I made a really interesting video called 7 Ways to Find Water. Well, in this video we're going to explore 7 more ways to find water. So come with me, let's check it out. This right here is your typical horse hoof gump or a lacquer bracket that comes off of the birch trees. And I like to slice these up and soak them in oil and burn them like lamp wicks or candle wicks. These are perfect for that. And so also while I'm looking for water, I need to find some oil, find an oil source. And right here is a wonderful patch of beach peas. Oh, there's a big mess of them right here. So I'm going to pick a bunch of those. And while I'm picking the beach peas, I'm going to think about 7 more ways to find water. And I'm near the ocean, so there's salt water everywhere. So we'll think about that. And also while I'm out here today, I'm going to be using this nice little flint knife that I got. I far prefer using something like this over a steel knife. Although I have one with me. We're going to use some flint. Flint knives, you know, they make easy work with stuff like this milkweed. It just cuts it right up. So I'm going to gather a bunch of milkweed. I got to have fresh water to boil this in. So I'm right back to my 7 more ways to find water. And right here I got this water purifier, and it's a military type. One thing it won't do is desalinate water, but it will clean up muddy water, and it'll purify up to 50 gallons per filter. But it has to be clean water, and it won't remove the salt. So I got something really cool to talk about here today. I got, well, just a standard pocket watch. Of course, you know, with a pocket watch, because it has hands on it, you can use it for a compass to get general directions with. As you can see, this watch is set up like a navigation tool or a sun tracking device, sun and star tracking device. And I can use this a whole lot like that. And even just for for sighting landmarks and doing map work or anything. It's a lot easier with a watch like this. And yeah, this was a special gift from my wife that she gave me for my birthday. But I'll use this all the time. I can tell time with it. I can navigate with it. I can even locate the position of stars with it. So there's a lot of things that I can do with just this simple tool right here. What a valuable object this is. So the reason I like Japanese knotweed, for this video, is because the Japanese knotweed, the leaves and the foliage are absolutely saturated with water. So you can crush these up, pound them into a mush, and then put it into a piece of cloth and wring the water out, and then you have a readily available source of drinking water. And you can do the same thing with jewelweed or jack in the pulpit. And the jack in the pulpit plant is even better because the water just drips out of it. You grab a double handful of the foliage and crush it up and wring the water out of it, and you'll have a glass of water right away. And there's even some fern roots that have little potatoes in the roots. And you can smash those up and drink the water out of it, but sometimes those have tannic acid in it. But using this method, the crushing of plants, crushing leaves and wringing the water out of it, that's a dependable source of water, and you can rely on it anywhere you can get jewel. If there's jewelweed, then you have water. Like you have Japanese knotweed, you have a readily available source of water. You can just grind these up into a poultice and wring the water out of it, and you'll have something to drink. Okay. And another method that I like to use is take a piece of plastic tarp, take a plastic tarp or something. You can use an animal skin too, an oiled animal skin. And what you do is you attach this to the trees where the air can flow, and then on a lower edge, wherever the water that collects on it will run off into a bucket. You place a bucket or something, and you set these up. They just hang in the air. They just strain water right out of the air, you know. And it's not really an efficient method, so you need to use a lot of them, you know, several of them at least. But you can and will get water from that method. And if you really don't have any other choice, that's definitely the thing to do. So it's a really good method. I've used it numerous times, and it doesn't produce a lot of water, but it does produce some water, and that's a benefit. So it's easy. You just attach your tarp between trees and stake it off so that it hangs at an angle, and you try to make a funnel spot in the tarp where it'll funnel into a bucket. That's all you got to do. And it works like a machine. It'll do it all on its own. You know, whenever the dew settles and collects on stuff, then this will get wet and drip with water, and it'll produce drinking water. So when I do carry a knife, I choose to carry a knife like this, the old style, got the elkhorn handle, nice brass pommel and finger guard. It's a high carbon steel blade that it'll strike sparks on flint, so I use my knife to start fires with. You just pick up a piece of quartz off the ground, strike the back of it, and I'll light a fire on any char cloth. So yeah, this is Trapper Jack's knife. Out of all the knives that I made, I like this style of knife the best. I'd choose to carry one of these. I may go back into building knives someday, and if I do, there'll be a design something similar to this. But this kind of a knife is far superior to almost anything out there, and the main reason being is that this knife will strike sparks and it'll light fires. I'm trying to figure out where to go here. It's brushy over there. I'm going to go that way. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful specimen of smooth sumac right here. Very nice. The smooth sumac is my favorite sumac tree to build blowguns out of. It also makes a good drink. Sumac is really too sour to drink on its own. You have to mix it with water, and I like to add a little bit of sugar to it, and to be honest with you, I think it tastes just like pink lemonade. So it's really an excellent drink. Wow, this is a really beautiful bright blue chicory. Oh, what a delicious drink that is. But if I'm going to use chicory, I have to get some water. See, the leaves kind of resemble plantain, only they have reddish stems. The deer tongue has reddish stems. Now, this plant right here is something to smoke. And if you're a cigarette smoker and you're lost in it. This turned out to be a really productive spot. Just right here I found beach peas, I found yellow curly dock, found chicory, found Japanese knotweed, and found a lot of good food plants right here. There's even some wild cucumbers growing right around the corner, and some blackberries. So this was a really productive spot. Of course, the blackberries, you can juice the blackberries to get water. And that's one of the next methods I was going to discuss with you, is using fruits. Just some fruit out in the woods to you gather a bunch of blueberries or a bunch of blackberries and mash them up, and you get the water out of them that way. And of course, that's a really, really good way to do for yourself. Well, I'm so glad I found the yellow curly dock and the beach peas. You know, with the yellow curly dock, these seed heads are better than the greens. And usually what I do, I just strip it right off and you can eat them. Just like that. They have a really good flavor to them. They're even better roasted. If you fry them in a pan, they have such a good cooked food flavor. It's just hard to resist. So, the seed from the yellow curly dock is one of my favorite wilderness foods. And of course, these beach pea flowers, oh, they taste just like snow peas. And man, you can't pass these up. Oh, yeah, these are real good. So right here, survival's pretty easy. But there's salt water everywhere. So I gotta get some fresh water. Of course, right here, this is a good tree to get water out of. Look, you see the water right there? It's just running out of this tree. Just chop into this a little bit. The whole inside of this is hollow, full of muddy water. And if you're really thirsty, you really, really need water bad, you can go to a tree like this. It has water coming out of it like this one does. Chop into it, get the mud, and then you'll have drinking water. I know I outlined that in the first video, the first 7 ways to find water, but it's such an important resource of water, I decided that it had a place in the second. So look for those tree seeps, folks. That's where your water is. And this tree right here, folks, just happens to be a mulberry. You know, and all these mulberries right here, they're absolutely full of water. And so you can pick these up off the ground, crush them, wring the water out of them, and well, you have something to drink. So even if you're in a place where there's no streams or no lakes or anything like that, you can still find water in creative places like from this mulberry tree. And you can get it from the fruit, or you can get it from the tree seed, from the rock spot in the center. So there's a lot of water on this tree right here. If you just take the time to get it, it can save your life. Man, them are delicious. Oh yeah, those are really, really good. This tree is a score. So what I'd like to do now, folks, is show you how to make a still for distilling salt water and for turning really muddy water into clean water if you don't have a filter like the water purifier that I just showed you. But to do that, I want to go back to the man cave where I can have a little bit more controlled situation to be able to show you that. So let's head in from the bush. Let's go get a drink and, oh well, yeah, that's why we're here, ain't it? We got to get some water. Okay folks, let's pack it up, head in. We'll go back to my man cave and I'll show you how to make a water distillery that'll purify salt water or remove mud from your dirty water and give you nice, fresh, clean drinking water to use. Now that we're back at the man cave, I'd like to show you something that didn't get featured in the last 7 ways to find water video, and that is the clematis vine, or the water vine. And as you can see in this photo, the water vine just drips with water. You just poke a little hole in it and water pours out of it. And those vines grow all over America, so no matter where you go, you can find clematis vine. So quite simply, it's just a bucket, a rocket stove of some sort, a pot that you can put water in, and then when it boils, this one goes over the top. And I'll show you that in just a minute. And we gotta wait for the water to boil. So it's just a bottom pan, a rocket stove, a pot of water, and then you need a cover to recondense the steam. And that's how easy it is. So once it starts generating steam, water will condense on this bucket and it'll drip down into this bucket, and that's where you get your water. See? Those water drips that are dripping off of there are distilled water, pure distilled water. And any dirty water that may have been in the pan is still in the pan. So this will be clean, drinkable water. So this is a sure, definite way to get distilled water anywhere you go. It don't matter where you're at. And it just takes a minimum of the most simple items. Alright, with that said and done, there's one more tip that I can offer you with this episode, and that is dig holes next to a creek bottom, or next to a lake, or next to a mud puddle, and get the water that rises up in the hole that you've dug instead of drinking directly from a creek. And that'll help keep you safe and healthy, and the water will have good minerals in it too. So if you'd like to see more episodes on topics like this, tune into my channel on YouTube or look me up on Facebook. I'm Trapper Jack. Thank you for watching.